Well, we got there in the end, didn't we? It's a slightly later kick-off here at Sofi Stadium, but we have been given the all-clear by tonight's officials, and we are finally ready to go. A very good evening to you, and welcome to California for the final game of Arsenal's US tour against Barcelona. There are more than 70,000 fans here on a hot and humid night, ready to see Mikel Arteta's side test themselves up against Xavi's title-winning team as the Gunners' pre-season schedule continues to ramp up. Alongside me to talk you through it all is Arsenal legend Perry Groves. Perry, as pre-season opposition goes, it doesn't get much better than Barcelona, does it?
Yeah, you're not wrong. Obviously they won La Liga last season by 10 points. Just getting everybody in their way, out of the way basically, by their possession-based football. So I'm looking for a game tonight that's going to be very easy on the eye. Obviously the Manchester United game previously was a little bit more physical than what we would have liked, but you know that both teams will want to dominate the ball, both play through the lines, so this should be a feast of football.
Arsenal's final 90 minutes on stateside comes against one of the most iconic clubs in world football, the reigning La Liga champions, Barcelona. It's a chance for the Gunners to pit their wits against Europe's best defence from last season, and for Mikel Arteta to go head-to-head with Xavi for the very first time. Two of world football's finest young coaches, the duo came through Barcelona's famed La Masia academy together, and of course are both disciples of Johan Cruyff's fluid footballing philosophy. Arteta's side will certainly feel sharper. This is their fifth match of a packed pre-season schedule. But for Barcelona, it's the first outing after the weekend's opener against Juventus was cancelled just hours before kickoff due to a virus outbreak in the squad. Well, 4 days later, Xavi's men are recovered and ready to go in front of a sellout SoFi Stadium crowd. Can they prevent Arsenal from finishing their US tour with a flourish? It's Arsenal versus Barcelona, live on Arsenal.com and the official Arsenal app as well. Wherever you are in the world, thank you so much for tuning in. We know it's either a late evening or an early start. If you are based in Europe, you're getting a little taste of what it's like for all of these fans stateside, having to wake up in the early hours of the morning to follow the club. But they're loyal, they're passionate, and tonight they get an opportunity to watch the stars up close and personal. See as well, as always with these fixtures on stateside, there's a lovely mixture among the fan bases as well in the crowd. Barcelona fans sitting side by side, the Arsenal fans hoping for a good game of football between these two giants of European football tonight. Well, here's tonight's team news, and Mikel Arteta has made 4 changes to his starting 11 from the weekend's game. Ben White's return at right back means Jurriën Timber moves across to the left. Thomas Partey is reinstated at the base of midfield. Declan Rice is out of tonight's squad. Up front, Gabriel Jesus and Leandro Trossard form a fluid front three alongside Bukayo Saka. The man in the middle there is Alex Chilovitz. It's the American's 23rd game of 2023. It's his first one since Philadelphia's 2-1 win over New York City 11 days ago. Well, Xavi has handed Barcelona debuts to 2 former Premier League players in midfield. Former Southampton stalwart Oriol Romeu starts at the base, with treble-winning Manchester City captain İlkay Gündoğan providing the experience alongside Pedri. 33-goal Robert Lewandowski is the obvious threat up front, but 21-year-old Abde Ezzalzouli is also one to keep an eye on. The Morocco international enjoyed a fruitful loan spell at Osasuna last season and starred at the Africa Under-23 Cup of Nations last month as well. Plenty of star power on both benches as well. And in the commentary booth alongside me with Perry Groves. Perry, you've done these pre-season trips before to America. You know what it's like in that humid cauldron that it's going to be tonight. Just how much is that going to benefit Arsenal going into the season?
Well, you'd like to think that it's going to benefit us in this game in particular, Max, because obviously we've played a lot more games than Barcelona. You mentioned there the game against Juventus was called off. They had a virus, didn't they, in the squad? So we've got more minutes in our legs. I think we saw against Manchester United as well. Manchester United played one more game than us and been training a week longer than we had, and they looked at just that little bit sharper. But it's just not just the heat, Max, it's the humidity as well that obviously the players not used to, and we found it very, very difficult when we went. We were based in Miami pre-season, and we was training at 8:30 in the morning because of the heat and the humidity. And then we found we was going to train at 6:30 at night, and we couldn't do 2 training sessions a day because we didn't have anything left in our bodies. So we just we was going out and refueling and restocking, should we say.
That's what they call it. Well, Barcelona get us underway with Lewandowski. And now, for the final time of this US tour, we get to see Arsenal pit their wits against one of Europe's great sides. White back in the starting 11. He did combine so well with Bukayo Saka up against the MLS All-Stars a couple of games ago. Julian Timber, of course, preferred to him at right back last time out against Manchester United, but his switch to the left-hand side presumably means he'll be filling that Zinchenko role from there. Yeah,
he'll look to overload in the midfield, you said there, just coming in into that central area. Just looking the way we've set up, there was some reports that Trossard might play as at the false 9, but it looks like obviously Trossard is out on the left-hand side, Gabriel Jesus up front and Bukayo Saka on the right, and we've got obviously Thomas Partey. Just looking at him there, is going to try and press the ball, but he will sit in front of our back four and be the protector and try and get our passing movements going.
Romeu, first couple of touches from him, having re-signed 12 years after leaving as a La Masia graduate. He's done very well in the summer transfer window, it must be said. Oriol Romeu was plying his trade for Girona last season, having left newly relegated Southampton the summer before. Havertz. First foray forward for Arsenal, and Jesus was clipped off the ball. Ronald Arau, it was with the foul, and it will be an Arsenal free kick in a pretty promising position.
Yeah, it was really good play from Julian Timber initially. Just as said, just coming to that midfield area. Gabriel Jesus doesn't look very happy with Alex Chilovic, the referee, because he was away from Arau. Arau had a bit of a panic up there and tripped him up. And I think probably in the Premier League that would have been a yellow card, so he just got away with one there, being a pre-season friendly. But we started nice and sharp, we've got ourselves on the ball, the passing's been very quick. So look for Martin Odegaard now just to bend the free kick in with his left foot.
Saw a lot of leniency from the American officials in the Manchester United game. Only a handful of bookings, and perhaps could have been more. And here is Odegaard looking deep. He's going to evade everyone. Marcus Alonso, the former Chelsea man, can bring this one clear, finding the former Man City man, Ilkay Gundogan. A smattering of former Premier League stars on show for Barcelona this evening.
Yeah, Saliba just trying to put Gundogan under pressure. Nice little Cruyff turn from Gundogan on the touchline. Saliba just a little bit too keen, committed the foul.
Looking long towards Lewandowski for the first time this evening. I'm sure it won't be the last. Approaching his 35th birthday, Robert Lewandowski showing absolutely no signs of slowing down. Yeah, he's just very, very clever, and his movement, just looking at him there, just trying to be the wily-eyed fox and close our Ramsdale down, just bending his run. And it seems to be a theme in pre-season. Well, it's the second time that those two are coming together. Jesus and Araujo. The South American rivalry perhaps developing on that far side.
Yeah, just that obviously the referee Alex Chilovic hadn't blown earlier. That was a real rash challenge from Araujo there, because again it looked like Jesus was going to get away from him, and he's actually pulled him down sort of waist height. So just keep an eye on that little battle, which I like the fact that this game has started in a real fast tempo, and there's a little bit of feistiness in it. So you want the game to be as near to Premier League pace as it possibly can be.
Christensen it was from the free kick, looking over the top for Rafinha, and that's going to be another Arsenal free kick. I think when we saw that it was going to be Arteta up against Xavi, I think we were expecting a lot of, almost like a chess match, tight spaces, passing, creating the overloads in those wide areas. So far we've seen a lot more physicality, I think, than we expected on paper.
Yeah, well, I think after the disappointing Manchester United game, Mikel Arteta, I loved his interview afterwards, didn't he, where he said, you know, what do you take from him? He said, I hate losing. Forget that it's pre-season. I know a lot of people say, oh, the results don't matter. They do for the mood of the camp, because you lose the game the night before, you're not going to go in full of beans and laughing, joking, you know, the next day. So, and I think he would have said to, obviously, our Arsenal players, you've got to win your 1v1 battles. You've got to win, even when you try and play easy in your football, you've got to win all the knockdowns, you know, and all the sort of 50-50s. So we've seen both teams just trying to impose themselves on the game, and hopefully the game will just settle down a little bit.
Gabriel. Into the channel for Trossard against Serginho Dest, who spent last season on loan at AC Milan. A pretty underwhelming loan spell by his standards, or certainly the way that he burst onto the scene at Ajax. Timber wasting no time with the throw-in. Now Trossard tries his luck up against Dest once more.
It's all a little bit scrappy, isn't it, at the moment? So both teams try to impose themselves, trying to get themselves on the ball. We'd like to think it's going to get a little bit more free-flowing. Both teams pressing high, stopping the other one from playing.
Around into the feet of Lewandowski, trying to bring Dest into play. It's good tracking back though by Trossard. Jesus ignored the overlapping run from Timber. Now Ødegaard can collect the ball, drive forward, and now he's being halted in his tracks. There's a good opportunity here for Abde to carry possession forward for Barcelona. Still going up against Saliba. Abde has a good pull back as well, and Barcelona break the deadlock. A goal made by Abde and converted from close range as well. A good initial save by Aaron Ramsdale, but there was nothing that he could do to keep out the follow-up.
He just started from Ødegaard giving the ball away. Abde making ground down the left-hand side, just goes on the outside of Saliba, cuts the ball back into Rafinha. Excellent save initially from Aaron Ramsdale with his left foot, and as the ball comes back out again, just slotted home with a lot of composure and a lot of quality to put Barcelona 1-0 up.
Well, Robert Lewandowski has a good record against Arsenal. He's actually scored 30 or more goals in each of his last 8 seasons as a professional footballer. 8 goal contributions in 8 appearances against Arsenal in that time. Pretty impressive. He's got another one to add to his tally tonight as Saka now tries to hit back.
Just looking at, obviously, the breakaway goal from Barcelona, finished off by Lewandowski. I think Saliba could have done a little bit better, because if you're going to show Abde down the line, which he did, he's got to make sure that he stops the cross, gets his tackle in. So just a little bit of lax play there at first from Martin Ødegaard, giving the ball away cheaply. And to say Saliba's got to make sure that he stops the cross coming into Rafinha. It's a fantastic save from Aaron Ramsdale. Very quick with his feet, and Lewandowski doing what he does best, just loitering in the 6-yard box to finish the chance.
Here is Saliba. Still a bit of quick footwork to escape Abde. Not really seen glimpses of. Loves running into those wide areas, and that's a nice little touch on the turn by Trossard. Jesus peeling out wide once more. Arsenal seeing plenty more possession since going a goal behind. Just unable to find that pass in the final third.
Yeah, just a little bit loose there from Duran Timber. See again, both teams trying to play out from the back. Ter Stegen just rolling it to Christensen, coming out on this left-hand side to Marcos Alonso.
Matchday gets the benefit of the doubt from tonight's officials. There's his side, a free kick. It'll be interesting to see what sort of role he plays for Barcelona this season. Xavi clearly a big fan of the 21-year-old. Jesus looking to get Arsenal back on the front foot.
Really good play from Gabriel Jesus there. Just coming back, helping out his midfield players. There's more to his game. People, say about his goal output, but there's more to his game. I think it surprised the Arsenal fans last season, the way that he holds the ball up.
Odegaard slightly strayed into an offside position. Good point on Jesus though, and he's busy, isn't he? He likes to be involved.
That's what he said. They said about the leadership groups, and he's in the leadership group. He said he's not particularly vocal on the pitch, but it's just the way that he plays, his attitude. He leads by example, so he engages the centre halves. He's not one of these just sort of 6-yard box players, He comes deep. And numerous times last season we see him helping left back out with Zinchenko, or the right hand side with Ben White, winning the ball back, and that enables us to counter attack.
Gabriel.
Gabriel just looking for a little bit more. He said there, movement in front of him, didn't have very many options. It's all a little bit too static from our point of view. Need to move the ball a bit quicker, be a bit more fluid in our changing of positions.
Odegaard. Forced away from goal by Romeu. Here's Saka. Oh, Saka might profit from this one, and he does. A real opportunistic strike from Bukayo Saka. And Arsenal managed to level the scores here in California, and it's from a likely source as well.
Yeah, just a little bit fortuitous. Ben White giving the ball away. Christensen trying to intercept, just a really heavy touch with his left foot. Bukayo Saka coming off that right-hand side. Just a great first touch out of his feet with his left foot, and a really cool finish with his right foot. Just got his head up. Ter Stegen obviously tries the long barrier technique, and Bukayo Saka just lifts it over his left foot. So really, really cool play from Bukayo Saka. Puts us back in the game at 1-1.
He was on the receiving end of some rough treatment against Manchester United. It meant that he couldn't really get himself into those positions. He was being kicked all over the place, to be quite frank. But that's all he tends to need, Bukayo Saka. Just a sniff of an opportunity. That's what saw him get 15 goals in all competitions last season. And he's off the mark here tonight as well.
Just looking at the obviously 2 goals, Lewandowski's for Barcelona and Saka for ourselves, just shows a little bit of rustiness. You can tell in the legs in pre-season, because I said before, Saliba should do better with Abde as he comes down the right-hand side, so he doesn't snuff out that danger. And Christensen there, when it's just a loose pass from Ben White, Christensen just be taking a decent touch on his left foot, just really, really heavy, and ends up putting it into Bukayo Saka's path, who finishes it really clinically.
Trossard. Havertz had made the run forward. He was picked out as well by Timber, and he's got a run inside of him as well with Jesus. inside the penalty area for Arsenal. Still going, Jesus! Taken away from Bukayo Saka at the far post. Ronald Arau, I think it was, who got a vital touch. The attack still alive though for Arsenal. Ter Stegen is right behind that one.
Barcelona are all over the place defensively. See, Jesus gets in down the left-hand side, 1v1 with Oriol Romeu, just cuts back inside him, tries to find Bukayo Saka on the far post. Said there, Christian, just get that vital little touch, otherwise it's a tap-in from 2 yards.
Ramsdale under a little bit of pressure. Nice first touch by Timber to take that one away from Dest. Two former Ajax men going at it there. And Jesus and Christensen for company.
Really good play from Kai Havertz initially, and we used to see him when Arteta wants to play him that inside left position, but coming just a little bit deeper. Great first touch and awareness to find Jurgen Timber on that left-hand side, and Gabriel Jesus looks really lively in this opening 15 minutes, just making good runs from in to out down that left-hand channel.
15 minutes gone. And the first corner kick for the Gunners to be delivered by Leandro Trossard. And here comes from the Belgian. Ter Stegen was being blocked, managed to get just enough on it, but it's out for Saka. And his effort was blocked on its way through to goal. Good contact with it as well.
Yeah, good delivery from Trossard, just putting in that dangerous area. Just look at the position of Ben White. He's just trying to stop Ter Stegen for obviously coming out to collect the ball, which he did. It was a really poor punch from Ter Stegen, actually punched it downwards. Come out to Bukayo Saka, got a fantastic left foot volley. I think it hit Christensen and negated the danger.
Update for Romeu. It's the first season that Barcelona are playing without Sergio Busquets for since the 2008-2009 season when he made his debut. It's been such a linchpin in that midfield. Mario Romeu, big shoes to fill.
And I think it's noticeable in the policy of Barcelona. They've had 3 free transfers, haven't they? And all the players, Martinez, Gundogan and Romeu, are all 30 plus. So obviously he just wants a little bit more experience, I think, to give the Champions League obviously more of a go than what they did last season.
Back-to-back group stage exits for Barcelona, of course.
Obviously Sergio Busquets has gone to Saudi Arabia, obviously just to further his career. Just wanted another challenge.
One back by Romeu. Arau. Ter Stegen, usually so composed with the ball at his feet, was happy to take the risk there. He was announced as Barcelona's vice-captain this week, one of the 4-man leadership group that they've got. Sergi Roberto taking over from the departing Busquets. As there's another cheap free kick given away, this time on Abde.
Yeah, just us on the front foot again when Barcelona in possession. See Ben White trying to put Abde under pressure. I think Alex Chilovic there, the referee, just a little bit kind on Barcelona. I'd like to see him just let the game flow a little bit more.
Pedri. Looking long for Rafinha. Good ball as well to pick out the Brazilian, now Lewandowski. Gundogan was surging ahead of him, but he's not going to be able to get to that one, the 32-year-old. Barca still in possession though.
Just looking at Lewandowski there, obviously he's got the goal for Barcelona to put him 1-0 ahead, but he's a proper master craftsman, playing, you know, as the lone centre forward, where you just see him drop deep 2 or 3 times when the ball comes into him. He uses his body brilliantly, or he gets himself side on, holds the ball up, then it enables the likes of Pedri and Gundogan to get themselves on the ball.
Saw him picking it up on the halfway line there. He's quite comfortable taking the ball really deep, and as you say, Perry, allowing the more energetic players around him perhaps to make those runs forward. Speaking of which, there's a bit of space here for Gabriel Jesus. First pass wasn't on the money, the second one better. Trossard. Now Saka. Bit of space here, what can he do? Arsenal's number 7. He's arriving at the far post. Too far behind him.
Yeah, a bit of a surprise there from Bukayo Saka, because he loves those situations 1v1. He's got Marcos Alonso who's trying to hold him up, who's not the quickest. So I just like to see Bukayo Saka just attack Marcos Alonso there, because we know what he's added to his game now, Saka, because he obviously predominantly, well, he's left-footed, likes to come in onto his left foot, but we know he can go on the outside on the right side as well.
Here he is again, Saka. He's got Ødegaard ahead of him. Oh, and now was that a handball? The referee's seen it, and Alex Chilovic points to the spot. It looked like a goal-bound effort, and it looked at first viewing like it was blocked by an arm.
It's a really good play down our right-hand side. Bukayo Saka just releasing Martin Ødegaard on the underlap. Just the ball comes back to Trossard. I think it's Raul who's come sliding in. He's looked a little bit erratic actually in this first sort of 20 minutes. And referee Alex Chilovic absolutely spot on, because his hand is in an unnatural position, making his body bigger. Definite penalty.
Saka has scored penalties against big sides. Manchester United, Chelsea among them. Can he get the better? Marc-Andre ter Stegen in the Barcelona goal. Chance to put Arsenal ahead for the first time this evening. Here's Saka, and it's been dragged wide of the post. Well, he has been so dependable from the penalty spot in the past season and a half. But that one skewed wide.
That's really unusual for Bukayo Saka. That's the cardinal sin. You must hit the target. It's just a real poor connection. He's actually missed the target by a good sort of quarter to half a yard, where he sent ter Stegen the wrong way. It just looks like it came off his heel. Normally hit it off on the instep, maybe just come off his heel a little bit more than what he would have liked, and just dragged it wide.
Well, we mentioned just how hot and humid it is, so it's no surprise to see a drinks break midway through the first half.
I think Mikel Arteta will be absolutely delighted from the response from going 1-0 down, giving away what he would say would be a cheap goal. He gave away 2 cheap goals against Manchester United. Aaron Ramsdale obviously could have done better for Man United's first goal, where the ball just goes over his hands, and you'd say that Gabriel was at fault for the second goal from Sancho, because obviously he took a complete air shot, and that was just Martin Ødegaard giving the ball away. And Saliba, you know, not closing down on the left-hand side, where Abdi sort of marauded down that left flank. But he'll be delighted, say, with the response, because we've looked the sharpest, we've got ourselves on the ball, the passing has been good, the movement from Jesus has been excellent, where Araújo's really been struggling to keep tabs with him. It's just a shame that we couldn't obviously hammer home that advantage with Saka missing the penalty.
No mean feat scoring against this Barcelona defence either. They kept 15 clean sheets in La Liga last season. That was the most in Europe's top 5 leagues throughout the campaign. And Marc-Andre ter Stegen actually kept a record number of clean sheets in a single league season, overtaking Claudio Bravo's 23 in the 2014-15 season with 26. But these are the goals. That one at first, just a rebound. It's a decent enough save from Ramsdale to begin with, but obviously couldn't react in time to get to the Lewandowski effort after.
Well, that's what all good centre forwards do. They have the what ifs. What if it comes across the 6-yard box? What if the goalkeeper saves it? Where am I going to be positioned? So just loitering around the centre 6-yard box. but that won't affect Bukayo Saka missing the penalty. You know, some players it might play on their minds, but he's very, very mentally strong.
He had a real test, didn't he, following the final of the Euros. He bounced back from that in spectacular style. Still only 21 years old somehow. Bukayo Saka, a real leading light in this Arsenal side. Rafinha. Pickpocketed by Timber. Rafinha still down on the far side.
There's a shock, but he's actually going to be okay. I think he might have a hole in his sock. It's very, very painful when you get a ladder in your sock, to be fair.
And we know him from his time at Leeds United, Rafinha. And not much in it there, was there? He has actually scored against Arsenal before in a 4-1 defeat back in the 21-22 season. That was from the penalty spot. Don't have much joy other than that whenever he faced the Gunners in the past.
To be fair to both teams, they've been very, very sharp when they haven't had the ball. Every time that the ball's come into a forward player, the defenders are on the front foot. We just saw Marcos Alonso there. Bukayo Saka just drop a little bit deeper, making sure that Bukayo Saka can't get turned. So the game hasn't really...
Well, here is Saka inside the area. Trossard looking to combine. Just couldn't sort his feet out in time. Again, I think Trossard may have been slightly surprised as he then gets booked, but Saka didn't shoot himself.
Yeah, I think you say Trossard couldn't get his feet sorted out. Just took a heavy touch of his left foot. Ter Stegen obviously trying to roll the ball out, and even though Trossard give the why are you booking me, what have I done wrong, you can tell that he's just tried to, well, he did, he dragged Ter Stegen's left arm back to stop him bowling the ball out, and the referee Alex Chilovitz was absolutely correct to dish out the yellow card.
I can assure you it was Trossard with the booking, not Frank Kessié, who's on the bench for Barcelona this evening. Odegaard, robbed of possession by Romeu, only momentarily. There is that confirmation. Trossard punching the ball into the feet of Saka again, and Jesus is lively inside the area as ever. White. Nice triangles by Arsenal on this near side. Give and go between Trossard and Partey. Trossard's used his strength well there up against Abde. Arsenal throw-in.
Yeah, it's good play from Trossard, just drifting in from that left-hand side, giving the freedom, the licence to get himself involved.
Here is Trossard again. It's a clever improvised pass, and Odegaard's in there as well. That ball will be deflected up and behind. It must have come off Odegaard last. A Barcelona goal kick.
Yeah, it was just putting Barcelona under pressure. It's just that final pass, just that little bit of quality, which is understandable, obviously, being in pre-season. But we haven't really seen much of an attacking threat for Barcelona coming, obviously, up to the 29th minute.
To Stegen. Again, Barcelona not being rushed into clearing their lines quickly or directly. From these sides, we know how they love to play. We know the philosophies. Build from the back. And they've managed to win themselves a free kick from Kai Havertz. Pedri. Lewandowski claiming handball up against Saliba.
It's good play from Saliba, just making sure, just keeping his eye on the run of Lewandowski, who just came short to spin him behind. Pedri trying to release him.
Rafinha. Not getting too much joy out on that far side, up against Timber. Arsenal fullback doing very well up against him.
But he can play in various positions, can't he, during Timber? Could be one of the signings of the transfer window, because obviously if Ajax can play on like right back, play right-sided centre-half. We've seen today that he can play in that left-back position, and he's very, very, everybody expects you to be very technical and good on the ball, but he's very strong physically, very, very quick.
Pedri it was, bursting forward just then. He will get the free kick, having had advantage played. I think Trossard is just questioning that yellow card still.
It does make you laugh when players question the yellow card. You think, well, no, you actually dragged Ter Stegen's arm back with your arm. Why are you surprised that you're getting booked?
So 2 over it for Barcelona. Rafinha or Gundogan.
Keeping a really high line. Obviously, Ramsdale will be on the edge of his 6-yard box. Just make sure that he comes and commands that position.
In from Gundogan. Saliba, a really good defensive header to flick that one wide. Kept in by Arau. And Barcelona will get a corner kick. Half an hour on the clock here, a goal apiece. Opportunity for them to bring their taller defensive players forward and put Aaron Ramsdale under a bit of pressure. Rafinha out swinging with that left foot. Handed away by Gabriel, but foul had already been committed. Arsenal will just take their time now, getting reset.
Yeah, the way we set up defensively, we go zonal. We have 2 banks of 4 zonal, one along 6-yard box and one between the 6-yard box and the penalty spot. You've got to make sure when you're zonal marking, when it comes into your zone, that you go and attack the ball, exactly what we did there. Bit of decent pace to the game, you know, being pre-season. You know, both teams haven't allowed the other team to play, because normally in pre-season, when you're not in possession, you sort of just retreat a little bit and try and get your rest. We can tell that Mikel Arteta has said to his Arsenal side that he wants them on the front foot. He wants them playing high energy, high pressing. Exactly what happened. So he'll be pleased with the response from going 1-0 down. We'll just be looking for that little bit better quality in the final third, just to pick the right pass or the right cross.
Matchday, creator of the first goal, he's brought down again. And Odegaard furious with the decision.
And I think, to be fair, it was during Timber just clipping Abday's heel. Quite rightly, the free kick was awarded.
So almost a carbon copy of the free kick that we had just moments ago. Barcelona get a second bite at the cherry. What can they conjure up this time? This time it is Rafinha who goes for goal, and the deflection takes it beyond Ramsdale. Another huge slice of fortune in the way that a ball has gone into the net tonight. Barcelona 2, Arsenal 1.
I think from Rafinha, he's obviously, we think he's going to whip it in with his left foot. He's gone to try and catch Aaron Ramsdale out down to his left-hand side, and unfortunately Martin Odegaard has turned his back, and as he's just turned his back, he's gone sideways on. He's hit Martin Odegaard on the arm, giving Aaron Ramsdale absolutely no chance whatsoever. So Aaron Ramsdale won't be very happy with his captain there, because you've got to make sure that Martin Odegaard stays nice and big, nice and strong. That's why he's in the wall. You can't be turning your back. You could say, you know, he was unlucky with the deflection, but if Odegaard stays square on, then that just hits him in the midriff, and the wall's in the right position. So you can tell Aaron Ramsdale went absolutely apoplectic, because you have to be nice and strong and brave in that wall. And you have to say Barcelona have gone in front slightly against the run of play.
He's been incredibly unfortunate in this game, Ramsdale. The first goal, of course, he made a decent save to keep out Pedri from close range, but Lewandowski was on hand to convert the rebound, and this time that deflection just completely wrong-footed in, and that's going to be a yellow card. Former Chelsea player Kai Havertz on former Chelsea teammate Andreas Christensen as he was breaking forward on another counter-attack.
Yeah, Christensen just bringing the ball out from the back. So there, Kai Havertz getting caught the wrong side, just dragging him back by his shoulder. We haven't really seen a lot of Kai Havertz in this first half. We had a couple of decent glimpses where he's dropped deep and got on a half turn and brought Jurriën Timber into play, but obviously he's learning a new role in that inside left position, which was played brilliantly last season by Granit Xhaka. So it just takes you a while just to bed in when you come into a new club. Obviously you're playing with new personnel, a different style of play. Well, we've actually got a style of play. Obviously at Chelsea last year they had no style of play, did they? They had no philosophy, they had no structure.
Gundogan looking to break the lines in behind. Nice tidy footwork by Saliba after sweeping up. The advantage has been played, and now Havertz can get on his bike. It's another crunching challenge by Arau. And a yellow card for the Uruguayan as well. And the way that the referee ran over there, I was wondering whether it may have been more. It was reckless. It was a bit of a lunge as well. The yellow card deemed enough by Alex Chilovic.
Well, that really is no surprise for Arau, is it? Because we said earlier, Max, in it, that he's looked out of control. He seems like he's very hot-headed. He's had a couple of challenges. He had one early on Gabriel Jesus where he was lucky because the referee, Alex Chilovic, had already blown for a free kick for Barcelona. Obviously, our players aren't very happy.
I think if you're tuning in now, you'd assume this was anything other than a pre-season friendly. There's a bit of fire and passion out there on the pitch following this challenge.
Well, I think that is a challenge from like the mid-80s to early 90s where you take everything. You know, you're going to win the ball, you take the player as well. So he's sliding in. It was reckless. Obviously, our players were wanting more than yellow card, but I think Alex Chilovic's referee has got it spot on. Obviously, it was his trailing leg that completely swiped Kai Havertz's feet away from him. But if I was Gabriel Jesus now, I'd be saying to Odegaard and Havertz and Trossard, just keep rolling the ball, keep rolling the ball into me, because I've got Arau. He just looks very, very erratic, very hot-headed, and he's basically one tackle away from being sent off.
He was much improved last season, Arau. He's struggled to adapt to the pace of this game, and I think in frustration he's been much more aggressive with his defending. Wasted opportunity from the free kick by Arsenal, but Trossard's there to block the Barcelona counter. See has been a physical game. And the way Barcelona are defending at the moment, I'm sure they'll tie that up soon enough.
I don't think Mikel Arteta would be too disappointed. I say he wanted a reaction from the physical game that we had against Manchester United.
Risky pass by Saliba, gives possession straight back to Barcelona. Lewandowski and Gundogan, thankfully, not quite on the same wavelength, but here's Saka breaking forward, and that tackle had to be timed to perfection by Christensen. And unlike his defensive partner, he does get that one right.
Yeah, it was really good play from Thomas Partey, breaking up the play in midfield, which he does brilliantly. Just trying to release Bukayo Saka on this right-hand side. You said there that Christensen fully committed himself, and let's put it this way, if he wasn't going to slide in and get the ball, Bukayo Saka wasn't going anywhere.
Well, it's going to be a bit of a totting up procedure for Ben White. It's a few of those that he's had on the same man, Abde, and he does go into the book as well. So 3 Arsenal players now booked. Five minutes remaining of this first half.
I think it's a sign of how competitive the game's been and the fast tempo of the game, because the half has gone very, very quickly.
Saka trying to escape Alonso, and Christensen had to be well placed there to clear, and Gabriel Jesus sniffing around behind him.
That's exactly where Bukayo Saka wants Marcos Alonso. 1v1 in the penalty box. I said he's added that part to his game where he can check back on his right hand side, just changes the angle. Now just got to make sure that he gets a good delivery in, swinging with his left foot.
And it comes from Saka, given away by Romeu, and then Trossard, a wild swipe, unable to keep that effort down.
There's good defending by Romeu, just helping his centre-halves out on that 6-yard box. Comes out to Trossard, just like to see Trossard take a little bit more composure because the ball's coming away from him. Maybe just help it back into obviously that group of players, just to keep Barcelona under pressure.
Arau looking out Abde. This is what Arau was doing so well last season. He was playing with that composure, with that distribution. It's strange to see him revert to Arau from a few seasons ago, who is slightly more erratic. Saka going straight at Alonso again and getting the better of him as well. It's a good ball into the box, and it's turned home by Kai Havertz. Well, Bukayo Saka showed his strength and showed his quality as well to pick out the cross, and Havertz has his second goal in pre-season. Arsenal draw level for the second time tonight. Yeah,
we said that Bukayo Saka had Marcos Alonso in his pocket, just going on the outside again, and when you get to the byline, it's about your decision making, and the decision is the closer you get to the byline, you just float it up to the far post. Martin Odegaard coming in from 8 yards out, getting his headed downwards, and want to see more of Kai Havertz. You can't see much more than Kai Havertz, and actually get himself in the 6-yard box. Good finish with his left foot, nice quick feet. That'll do his confidence the world of good. And you have to say that that is thoroughly deserved, because we've been the better team in this first half. We've been on the front foot. Most of the players have been in Barcelona's half, and deservedly looks like we're going to go in at half-time 2-2.
We spoke, Perry, a few moments ago about how Granit Xhaka used to make those driving runs forward. That's exactly where we want to see Kai Havertz, just taking the risk and gambling on something, and then being able to apply the finishing touch as well.
Well, he's got to make sure that he takes up what we call the second centre-forward position. You know, Gabriel Jesus playing up front on his own will come to the near post, and what we noticed there as well was Martin Odegaard getting himself in the 18-yard box.
Saka, White, Arsenal with their tails up at the end of this first half. Well, Saka has been robbed of possession by Abde. Arsenal back in numbers though to retrieve possession. Gundogan. Marked very tightly by Thomas Partey. And given away by Barcelona to Trossard. Havertz trying to join him. Trossard goes alone. Required a strong palm onto Stegen.
Yeah, again, really sloppy play there from Barcelona. Under no pressure at all, giving the ball away. Comes to Trossard, left hand side of the 18-yard box. Kai Havertz looks like he's going on the overlap. Trossard decides to take responsibility, gets a good left-footed shot in. In the end, a simple save from Ter Stegen, just tips it over the bar.
Arsenal, perhaps a final opportunity to get their noses in front for the first time this evening. It's been an eventful first half, that's for sure. Is there another twist in the tail before they go into the break? In from Saka. Jesus! Tipped over again by Ter Stegen. And that is the end of an action-packed first half here in California. And one that started so well for Barcelona with Robert Lewandowski converting from close range. Just 3 minutes later, Bukayo Saka levelled the scoring. And then he himself had the opportunity to put Arsenal ahead from the penalty spot, but wasn't able to hit the target. Rafinha then made the Gunners pay, firing a deflected free kick in off the back of Martin Ødegaard. Before 3 minutes before the break, Kai Havertz scored his second goal of pre-season to tie things up at half-time. It is Arsenal 2, Barcelona 2.